Hello and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Here, we will discuss XRP. To begin, we'll do a quick overview of the banking industry. However, I do have one query. What are your thoughts on today's financial institutions? Should we try to save them, or should we let them fail? Contemplate that for a moment. Inflation will rise as a result of our bailout, and as a result, you and I will have to pay more for goods at the store. Share your thoughts in the space provided below. Do you think the bank ought to be allowed to fail or bailed out? People were warned against investing in cryptocurrency, but now it's the financial institutions that are collapsing. Let crypto burn was a common refrain among crypto critics when markets crashed last year following the failure of FTX and other crypto lenders. The big banks like Credit Suisse and First Republic are failing now. The success of several smaller banks in the region, such as Signature Bank and Silicon Valley Bank, set off a domino effect. Therefore, Moody's has downgraded the entire banking industry. Now I know they bailed out Credit Suisse as well. The catchy phrase "if crypto burns" encapsulated the idea that going it alone in the financial sector entails greater individual accountability and risk. Top-notch crypto natives will have no trouble grasping that idea. This presents an opportunity to examine the status quo of the financial sector with a more critical eye. They may usher in CBDC because we all know the current financial system will collapse at some point. If that's the case, then there's no point in saving them. When FTX dropped last year, it was all over the mainstream news, and the storyline that followed was that cryptocurrency was dead and that people should stay away from it. To put it bluntly, this is the worst possible outcome for the crypto industry. Even so, we were smart enough to remain inside. Why? Simply put, we expect a turnaround in the crypto market at some point in the future. We're still holding Bitcoin because it recently crossed the $27,000 threshold, which suggests that the process may have begun. To top it all off, we are well aware that the current monetary system is useless. Anyone involved in crypto knows that traditional financial institutions cannot provide the same returns. A Silicon Valley bank has sought protection under Chapter 11. For the purpose of selling off its assets, Silicon Valley Bank has announced that it will be filing for bankruptcy. In an effort to protect its assets, SVB voluntarily filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the United States Bankruptcy Court for the Southern District of New York. According to the paperwork, the process does not involve SVB Securities, SVB Capital Fund, or the general partner entities. However, they just claim that SVB is the most secure financial institution. First, I have a secret to share with you. Those who have taken their money out of this bank should be very wary of using their money in any other financial institution. They need to look elsewhere for a safe investment. Gold, silver, and cryptocurrency are all possibilities. Even more so now that crypto seems to be about to emerge. Deposits over $250,000, according to Yellen, will not be insured. If you don't want to lose everything, you should probably stop putting money in banks right now. Plus, anyone with more than $250,000 in the bank needs to get it out ASAP. In contrast, we are aware that Harmony was a topic of discussion at the FDIC. I made several videos urging people to avoid financial institutions. In any case, you can expect to see those occur at some point if they're discussing equilibrium. Interesting. The FDIC has denied a Reuters report that said crypto-related Sbny business must be divested before the company could be sold. A spokesperson for the FDIC told Reuters that the agency would not trillion-acquire divestment of crypto activities as part of the sale. And why, especially now, would they want to unload their crypto holdings? The value of one Bitcoin has just risen above $27,000. Maybe by the end of the year we'll be able to see this thing reach the top and blow off. Buying that bank would compel me to keep its cryptocurrency. Chief Technology Officer of Ripple, Joel Katz, defends FTX advocates. Now, I appreciate how David consistently speaks up for those who are being sued, and this is a $1 billion class action lawsuit, so his advocacy is especially important. Ripple's Chief Technology Officer David Schwartz has tweeted his opinion on the matter, taking the side of the influencers. Schwartz argued that there are strong policy and free speech reasons to keep it that a paid promoter is not obligated to do more than minimal diligence on the companies they promote. According to the Ripple executive, legitimate businesses that are smaller, newer, or in riskier sectors would have a harder time communicating through spokespeople if promoters were liable even in the absence of wrongdoing. He continued by saying that crypto companies and promoters could be censored if liability was placed on them. Now, I don't feel the need to advertise anything in particular. Since I know ISO coins, which are utility-driven cryptocurrencies, are a secure investment, I'd like to take this opportunity to discuss them. They are a sure bet, and I know it. They will give you a large sum of money that will completely alter your life. That's the main topic I'm interested in discussing. On the other hand, I can see how some smaller crypto companies might need to hire an influencer to go out and push their product in order to raise funds and keep operating. That's fine, but you shouldn't bring it up if you know it's a blatant rug pull. In response to rising hopes for Ripple, XRP has followed the market upward. Rule for summary judgment. We now know XRP has begun to rise, and many assume Ripple will win. They are going to win, but I hope it's around the same time that ISO launches so we can see where XRP actually stands. I think the price we're seeing right now is artificially low because of the lawsuit. Did you know that Judge Torres, who is of Puerto Rican descent and is a third-generation judge, hails from a family widely recognized for its commitment to the advancement of Latinos? Both of my ancestors have a reputation as social warriors. And she's aware that they are watching. How, then, can anyone suspect this judge of wrongdoing if they come from such a morally upright background? As I have repeatedly stated, I have faith that she will rule in favor of Ripple because she is able to see through the corruption at the SEC. And I have faith that she will do the right thing by the American people and by groups like the XRP holders and the XRP community. Judge Analisa Torres told me that her grandfather instilled in my dad the idea that those of us who are Latino and have been given the opportunity to further our education have a duty to fight for the rights of the Spanish-speaking community. In addition to his time spent in the Assembly, Judge Torres spent 15 years at the New York office of the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development, rising through the ranks to become the Director of Civil Rights and Equal Opportunity. Back in 1980, he was serving on the family court after being appointed there by then-Mayor Edward Cork. He was appointed to the Supreme Court in a temporary capacity and later elected in 1987, during which time he worked in the criminal court. His term ended in 2001. As a judge, Torres never stopped working to get more Hispanics elected to the bench. He played a key role in the establishment of what is now known as the Latino Judges Association. Former city clerk and East Harlem friend of Judge Torres, Carlos Chavez, expressed concern that the man on the street might not have received a fair trial. You can be sure that she will side with anyone who talks like that. In my opinion, she is not involved in any kind of shady dealings. New positions were made available by Ripple. The Ripple continues to hire new employees despite being embroiled in a legal battle with the Securities and Exchange Commission, which leads me to believe they are aware of the outcome. They anticipate that in order to make progress in the years ahead, they will require a large number of new employees. They'll have to, seeing as how Ripple's global expansion is unabated by this incident. It's time for bed. The launch of this service represents a major milestone on the road to the adoption of the US digital dollar. Right this second, Cypherium is the subject of heated debate on crypto Twitter. That's something we're going to talk about, albeit briefly. We also know that the decline of SVB and signature banks is driving us ever closer to a CBDC. The Fed uses Cypherium, a blockchain platform popular in China, to collaborate with local enterprises. But exactly what is Cypherium? I'm not particularly fond of the aroma of Cypherium. There are no Americans on the executive team, which consists of 2 Chinese and 2 Indians. The Fed is using the company as a proxy for China. No good aromas here. But then we learn that our government has ties to the Chinese government. Men and women at the top of our government. This makes perfect sense to me, especially considering that the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States Fed actively works to discourage foreign investment in the case of a US-based company. I don't see the reasoning behind that, especially since Ripple is a US-based firm that could be put to immediate use in repairing the existing financial system and implementing it in the emerging one. And so, why would they pick Cypherium instead? You're well aware of the Fed's and our government's sterling reputations. The US national debt is openly displayed at $31 trillion, nearly $32 trillion. So, it's clear they have a terrible history. As a result, Cypherium could be the winner. A possible outcome is that it will be unsuccessful. This might force them to implement a real CBDC in a rush. However, I think they will find a use for XRP and Ripple at that time as well. I don't give a damn what others think. While domestic payments in the United States might use Cypherium, I expect international transactions to be processed using RippleNet and XRP and that ODL. I could be argued with all day, but that seems like the most sensible option to me. It's Algiers, Argentina. To name a few: Bahrain, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Iran, Egypt. Other countries interested in joining BRICS and finding alternatives to the Western financial system include Mexico, Nigeria, Pakistan, Sudan, Syria, Turkey, UAE, Venezuela, and Zimbabwe. These countries are preparing an assault on the US dollar, and the Federal Reserve will need a plan B if it wants to prevent a global economic meltdown and save the American people. This development deserves constant coverage in the mainstream media. In your opinion, what could that be? Only XRP and on-demand liquidity offer any hope, but the topic deserves attention nonetheless. The power of BRICS is expanding rapidly. There has been an increase in interest from additional countries. The time has come, all that remains is to wait. In my opinion, the value of the US dollar will soon be declining in one way or another. To make this happen, all Saudi Arabia has to do is declare publicly that it will no longer accept the US dollar as legal tender. Okay, that settles it. As of right now, that's the final straw. What follows is a natural consequence of this scenario in which the value of the US dollar plummets. That being said, I'm going to end this video. Please accept my gratitude for tuning in. Thanks to everyone who has watched my videos. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you in the next one. Bye.